So there you go. There you have it. So that one is in the books. Socke
takes game number 1. This is we're saying winner takes all, and they move up, and the loser has to call it a weekend. So
wow,
this is really important.
Everything on the line right now.
Yeah, it's really important. Puma basically has run out of errors he can make, at least for right now, because Socke currently is up 1-0. Let's go ahead and update the
this
scoreboard.
will be Puma's pick, and oh my gosh, possibly the most vetoed map in the map pool, and Tomb Valley will be the pick by Puma. These guys are not wasting any time getting right into the game right now, so countdown has already begun, and we're going to be into this one in just a second.
Alright, so as I update the scoreboard, guys, thank you so much to everyone tuning in. We realize it's probably late for some of you, or the night just began for others, as looks like we are going into what could potentially be the last game of the night here from Socke and Puma. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Tumba, as go ahead and take us away with introductions.
So here we go in the southwestern portion of the map. You're looking at Socke. He is spawned, of course, as the red Protoss. He will be facing off against the player many people are familiar with, of course, Puma, spawning in the northeast.
Yeah, Puma, of course, from Evil Geniuses. And some people say that his name's actually Puma, as Apollo was saying over IM. He just kept calling him Puma.
Can I be honest with you for a second? Apollo is definitely one of my favorite casters. There is no doubt.
I love Sean. He's great, man.
I can't really disagree with anything he calls. So if he calls him Puma, then that's what I'll call him.
If he called him Puma, I mean, I would have still, I would follow him as well, probably.
No doubt. You know, big shout out, of course, to Apollo, doing great with those tutorials as well.
Yep.
Bringing new players in and showing them how to play each race. Also going through all the maps. I thought that was very cool of him to do as well. So shouts out to him. Thank you so much for being such a great caster and community person. But getting into this game a little bit, we can see, of course, cross positions here, which I think is going to be a good thing for Socke, because that's where he seems to be most comfortable in this matchup. Of course, we've seen him pick Tall Dareem after taking a loss against Terran, so we know that he wants to get into more of that 3-base prototypical death ball against Terran. That's where he is the most comfortable.
Yeah, and you can definitely see that Socke loves his macro style against Terran, but I'm going to see whether or not Puma can turn it around. Now, this time he is saving up a lot of minerals. He did not actually get a geyser, so he is going for a gasless fast expand like we thought he would, and Puma probably will turn around this game, maybe try to see if he can be a little bit more aggressive and not let Terran get his 3 base. But honestly, that's kind of the point where a lot of Terrans say, well, what can I do against that fast third?
Yeah.
But, you know, that's kind of why it's more important that Terran sets the pace early rather than try to let Protoss let them do what they want to do in terms of macro.
Sure. Absolutely. And SEV going to get a full look there in the main of Socke. So essentially at this point, as you said, everything is on the line here, Froden.
Yeah. Yeah, Puma can't afford to lose another game. He scouts 2 gas, which is pretty important because normally, of course, if you want to go for a very quick expansion, you don't get that. So Puma's going to have to be a little bit more defensive. He's going to have to make sure to really protect this ramp. Now, one thing important to note is not only in fact that Tomb Valley has double high ground, this ramp is extremely wide.
It absolutely is, yes.
Yeah. If we had ramps this wide in LA, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't get stuck in traffic every day.
No, that is exactly what LA needs right
and
there.
Tomb Valley.
Extra wide ramps and a couple extra lanes.
Yeah, and a couple more toll roads so that I can clear out.
Los Angelites would be very comfortable on Tomb Valley, no doubt.
Absolutely. So we'll see whether or not Puma's able to defend this really wide ramp. He's got his first bunker. Now it's interesting because Socke grabs second gas but takes an expansion. And pretty sure he's not mining that much gas out of this either. Yeah, he just started putting his probes in gas, so it's actually a fake second geyser initially.
Well, what this allows him to do is actually give the perception that he's going to come with aggression and open up with maybe a safer build, add a robo or 2 more gates, go with a 3-gate expand, something that could get more units out. So, you know what? That was perfectly executed there by Socke, and you know, that's what you mentioned it earlier, and you bring it up a lot too, Froden, when you cast, is you talk about the mind games that are behind, especially at this level. So you know, playing a little bit of mind games here, and it paid off for him. I mean, you can tell just by the posturing right now of Puma as he's got his bunker up rather. But now he has scouted and seen, actually. I believe an SCV did. I don't know if he actually had vision of it, but I think he smells.
He barely got up the ramp. Yeah,
I think he smells something's going on here.
But he's moving out here. The most important thing is shut down any proxy pylons, and that's why you see his Marines going on their daily patrols. But as a result, you see that he's actually going up for 4 barracks, and this is actually extremely safe. He's not even getting add-ons. He just wants units at this point. And same thing, though, for Socke. He is getting for more gateways. Now, a scan does pop here, and that's a very, very intelligent scan by Puma. He scanned just enough to see if any units are blocking the ramp, but more importantly, he saw the expansion, and he also saw the gateway count. So great placement of the scan there as Puma sees everything, and now he won't be fooled.
Do not call him a fool, is exactly what Froden is saying.
Yeah.
And actually, what is he proxying there?
A
proxy robo! I can't be happier because that's something I've talked about for a very long time that actually we're seeing Socke do. I was just actually talking about this actually at dinner last night. You probably don't even remember.
Well, I do remember the fact that Puma is good at micro and his Marines are kiting beautifully. Oh no, Socke's actually in a lot of trouble. No, Socke is taking a lot of damage, and the Marines have completely exhausted the remaining of the Sentry energy, and Puma has found an in inside the Protoss base. For now, he did manage to kill off a lot of units. Sentries will die unless he manages to get away.
Oh, good micro there out of Socke,
pullback.
but does lose one. Now, Stalker's typically very good against Marines. However, they have to be in a position to go ahead and utilize the fact that they can outrange them. And right there, able to clean that up, warp more in, and that will cause actually Puma to have to pull back here. And we were talking about this actually last night. I'm not even sure if you were part of the conversation. I was wondering, I said, in my theory crafting, I said, why don't more players go ahead and proxy robo? It allows you a multitude of different options, especially the fact that Immortals don't have the speed to really get cross-map in cross-map spawn position. So here we see Socke doing it, and this I love. It's creative play. It's something different, and you know, the Immortal is really a fascinating unit. The hardened shields, of course, not very good against Marines.
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible against Marines. However,
if they're protected, they actually destroy Marines, but they're all actually awful.
Yeah, and Marines can burn them down so very quickly. However, very good against buildings, very good against bunkers, as well as Marauders if they ever get added into the mix.
Well, the reason why I've seen this before done by Liquid Noni a long time ago. I remember the first time I saw it, it was for an Immortal timing attack. So the idea is that this is a very sharp timing. When you have 3 Immortals, you can tank a lot, and you absolutely destroy bunkers at an alarming rate. But the most important thing is that Puma has enough to defend. He's gotten 4 bunkers, and that means he's taking everything extremely seriously, as he recognizes at this point that he did a lot of damage, and that Socke is going to go for a big timing.
To be honest, there's a 1 base variation of this with the proxy robo that allows you to hit with 2 Immortals, a handful of Sentries, Stalkers, and about 3 Zealots at the 8-minute 50 mark. And I'm wondering almost if he was going to use this strategy, if that would have been a better one to use. But here we go. Guardian Shield has been popped. We're going to find out one way or another as he's marching in here, and he's going to focus down. 1 bunker is going to fall. All 3 Immortals still alive. Looks like the first one is going to be microed out of there. Good control there so far by Socke. However, 3 bunkers still remain. But here's the thing. He's got 2 base economy to support this. So this is almost like a situation that we saw reminiscent of the games between... I'm actually drawing a blank at the moment.
Between Thorazane and MC.
Thorazane and MC. Thank you so much, Froden.
So the idea is that Socke right now wants to bust, but the important thing is that Puma's waiting for Stim. Now Stim adds another big change in factor, and if Puma can stall for enough time or wait for enough time, then that would change the entire outcome. Will Socke push in? Will he wait for another Immortal, or will he just go for it? Because Stim, that is a game changer.
Yes,
he's moving in right now.
A good call, Froden, but he has made the decision to go because I think he realizes that they don't have Stim, but is he going to just posture here a little bit more first? And you know what? This led little bit of indecisiveness actually gave enough time for Stim to finish.
But Socke at the same time is expanded to a 3rd, though, and he's getting double forges. So
great decision.
You know, he was kind of thinking he wanted to bust, but maybe wanted to just get a good sense of what the status of Puma's defense is, which is 5 bunkers and a lot of SCVs that are idle. twiddling their thumbs, wondering if they will be called to work. But we do see that Socke is done. Actually, he shouldn't attack here because he's trying to get his third up, and he really wants to be able to get that macro sound. For now, he's really put a lot of implicit pressure here on Puma, and Puma, he's not exactly sure where Protoss Army is right now. I bet he wish he had an observer.
No doubt. You know, Puma was successfully staved off all of that aggression, and right now that proxy robo is still not discovered as yet, but that factory floating over in that direction, Froden, may not be secret for long. The decision to take the third, though, out of Socke, very, very good. And right now he really had Puma pinned in pretty good there, so Puma very concerned. Knew he was going to have to fight for his life there.
Yeah, we do see charge in Templar Archives, and Socke gearing up the same way as he did last time, as looks like he doesn't have that strong of a vision, but we do see a warp in here of Zealous. Now keep in mind that he does have a warp prism as well, and he can kind of incorporate that into his play, but Puma's actually moving out bottom of his ramp, and he has a good vision of what's going on here. The warp prism is going to the back. Now at the same time, Socke is aware of this third, and Puma already preemptively lifting. No, he can't defend that.
The warp prism looks like it actually may have been taken out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good catch there by Puma if he does. He also scans to take out the observer, so Puma being very, very diligent right now, making sure that he doesn't get caught off guard.
So Storm now is being researched. Charge about halfway done.
Yeah, those are pretty important upgrades in general right now for Socke. He does not want to engage without them. But more importantly, he needs to make sure that his gases are secured, and you can see that right now. If he attacks without his 5th, 5th, and 6th gases secured, it's actually completely foolish, just because he will not have a good way to sustain his Templars.
Yeah.
And so he wants to make sure to have those.
The irony of the fact that the proxy robo is still there, despite the fact that Puma's army was just outside of that area. Of course, you can see right now, segmenting his army back. Now, you know, I can't stress enough, the decision for Socke to pull out at that moment was so very good, because on the back of what you had said, Stim had just finished, and he wasn't going to risk losing his army, because that is a big table flip opportunity there for Terran. That's where they can turn the tables on Protoss. Such a great upgrade, especially against unupgraded Protoss units before any type of double fortune obviously kick in or be chroned out. So Socke putting himself in a winnable position with far less stress.
Oh yeah. Oh man, and you know what? We're talking about less stress, and Socke is doing a good job keeping vision everywhere so he doesn't get spotted. Puma does spot this robo, and he might try to see if he can go kill it, but at the same time, Socke might try to take.
He does have a warp prism about complete. I think the warp prism. Yes, the warp prism has been completed, so essentially that robo, considering its location, has done all the work. I think we're going to see a new Guardian Shield has popped. That means that he could be wanting to move in here and get aggressive.
But Puma doesn't have EMPs, and it's a really bad spot for his army to be in, as Templar will absolutely destroy. And we do see the first storm here, but not a lot of damage done here, as Puma realizing that this might be an opportunity where Protoss is pretty vulnerable. He's going to push in here and kill off some really important units. Socke!
Oh, Socke.
Oof. But he lost a lot there.
He lost a lot of Templar there, unfortunately, and was not able to get any storms off. Is going to lose this robo, you know, as expected, I'm sure, due to the fact that it was proxied for so long. So, right now, Socke going to take the center of the map.
Yeah, but you know, right now the center of the map is very much up for grabs. It's all about positioning. It's very important for both players to get a vision of each other's casters, whether it be the Ghost or the High Templar. And of course, the spread is so important. Will Socke be able to spread his units accordingly? Looks like he's already getting prepared for it, starting to split up his Templar away, and it'll be up to Puma whether or not he can snipe them individually or group them all together. He doesn't have cloak, so he's going to have to engage it. Oh, I love the use of cannons as well. Socke not going to be able to do it. And it looks like we do see the units coming up and collaborating. And in the meantime, we see some important upgrades are now being started. Socke's actually getting ready for that tech switch that we always talk about.
Cloak almost finished. Thermal Lance is underway now for Socke. And, you know, I love the liberal use of cannons. I feel like Protoss skimp on them too much. But right now, Storm going down on
good damage
in the army of Puma. Yeah, this is really turning into a scrappy fight here. Big battle coming up, I sense, Froden.
Absolutely, and we do see that Puma is doing a good job taking out any cashes we see, but for the most part,
looks like Cloak is about to finish. But, you know, he does have detection with the cannons. However, really, that Colossus couldn't come out at a better time. And here we go, as you see, Chargelot's moving in now. Big Stim going down, and Colossus gets taken out so very quickly, Froden.
Oh man, looks like the Colossus left as soon as it arrived here, but Puma with great spreads here. There's no real energy for force fields. The EMP completely disarming the sentries, and looks like Puma will have to rely on the rest of his micro. Socke pulling his probes, and keep in mind that Puma really needs to win this game or else he's limited from the tournament. He is kiting with his Marauders as fast as he can back, but Puma taking a very, very large supply lead. The Mortals are now completely exposed here to the Marauders. We do see that Puma is pushing in. Keep in mind, he does have pretty good upgrades, +2/+2, and we do see that robotics phase does go down.
Get it, but did extended thermal lance finish? Doesn't even matter. Really.
I don't even know, because Puma at this point has such a large lead. He shut down the third of Protoss. He has a fourth base up for himself, and Puma managing to swing around with fantastic placement of EMPs and a great patience for his timings, especially around his upgrades.
Absolutely. I'm excited that you're excited about it, because you can see right now Puma just wrecking shop.
Yeah, Puma
in Camp
so
Socke.
Good. Yeah, I mean, Socke, what is he really doing right now? He is gathering anything he can back at home, but anything is warping in will die almost immediately, and these Marauders are just unbelievably strong, especially with them. But look at this spread. Puma completely going through the 360 rotation, spinning around Socke. GG.
So we're going to go to our ace match, I believe.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to go to game number 3 here. Puma with a very, very immaculate play. I was very impressed by his play and his control and his patience a lot. I mean, you could see how certain things are really important in the matchup, especially that he's aware of his upgrades at all time. He says, you know, I'm waiting for Ghost to come out before he engages. He was taking out rocks, controlling the center of the map, and he was just generally moving his map. He was moving around the map as if he was going to attack, but he didn't have Ghost. It was all just a zone, and getting that dominance allowed him to get the battle that he wanted. Protoss thought he didn't, he thought he got a good engagement with the cannons, but was able to land the EMPs he needed. Sentries could not force field, and as a result, you saw Puma take a great win in that battle that swung the entire game in his direction.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that Socke did right as well.
That's
of course,
true.
A little misdirection initially with the double gas, not even minding from it. It was all just a ploy to make Puma anticipate some aggression out of him early, which never came. Puma, though, very smart player, kind of sniffed that out. And then I have to admit, again, I got very excited. I love the proxy robo play in certain situations. Cross spawn, for instance, when Immortals don't have time. That was all trying to culminate into a good timing. The monkey wrench that went into that, though, was a good decision out of Puma to push with that small group of Marines, and that was enough time to buy him to get Stim to finish where Socke couldn't hit his timing that he wanted to do. But Socke, taking the third behind all that aggression. So great decisions made by both players. Great play. I can't wait to get into this ace match.
Absolutely. So looks like we are ready to get ready into the last game. Guys, it's the last game of the night. It's coming up on almost 12 hours of casting, and we're here having fun here at MLG Winter Championships. And it's here in Columbus, Ohio.
It's been, quite a few hours of casting.
It's been quite a few hours of casting.
It's been awesome the entire way, man. I don't know, there hasn't been a boring match yet that we've cast, so...
All right.
Socke actually asking for 2 minutes, which we'll, of course, allow while he gets prepared. So just going to give him a few seconds here to get ready, handle whatever he has to handle.
Guys,